The renowned Kiss co-founder Gene Simmons has always been in the public eye as one of the most identifiable frontmen in rock. His private life has also captivated admirers for decades, despite his loud, brazen, and unrepentant on-stage demeanor. His well-known relationships with Diana Ross and Cher, two legendary figures in music, are among the most fascinating aspects of his life narrative. Both of Simmons's relationships developed in intense, complex, and ultimately life-changing ways, leaving behind tales that still pique people's curiosity. Cher, who recently published Cher, the Memoir, Part 1, talked candidly about her 2-year romance with Simmons, highlighting the unique and intense nature of their bond. She tells tales of how they went from a fortuitous meeting to an emotional connection that was unheard of in her life. Neil Bogart, the head of Cher's record company, threw a gathering in the late 1970s where their narrative starts. She met Simmons for the first time at that function. In a humorous turn of events, Cher acknowledges that when she first met the Kiss bassist, she thought he was British actress Gene Simmons. Simmons was able to make an impact in spite of the confusion. He took her home later that evening, which marked the start of a closer bond. She was immediately won over when he arrived at her house the following day, carrying Kiss memorabilia for her son, Chaz Bono. Soon after, they were officially dated for the first time during a Tubes concert. Even so, Gene Simmons, who is erratic, displayed his impetuous side. During the outing, Cher remembers that he blatantly flirted with her buddy, which might have easily terminated things before they ever started. However, the following day, Simmons apologized over the phone. That modest gesture put things right, demonstrating that although Simmons was audacious and occasionally careless, he also genuinely cared about repairing his relationship with her. From there, their romance blossomed. While Cher was in Japan, Simmons boldly announced his love for her before they had ever shared a kiss, demonstrating how deeply he felt for her. His candor was refreshing and disconcerting, as Cher writes in her memoir. Compared to her other relationships, Simmons meant something different to her. She has actually stated publicly that their time together was the best relationship she has ever had. However, there were complications in their love tale. Cher clarifies that conventional notions of exclusivity did not bind her and Simmons. There was room for social and emotional ties with other people in their relationship, but Simmons was still the person she loved most. She states that she felt that Gene is the only one I'm wild about, despite the fact that she occasionally dated or entertained interest from others. Simmons frequently referred to Cher as his first great love, echoing her emotion. He commended her character, saying she was unadulterated, genuine, and exuded a sincerity that was uncommon in the entertainment business. Even though they had a close bond, their story changed throughout time. The pivotal moment that ended Simmons' romance with Cher was his growing intimacy with Diana Ross. Ironically, Cher herself was involved in the door's opening. She had advised Simmons to ask Diana Ross for her opinion on what to get her for Christmas. That straightforward idea served as the impetus for a more intimate introduction between Simmons and Ross. Simmons remembers being awed by Ross's powerful presence when he visited her in New York. Already a global celebrity, Diana Ross exuded a confidence and sensuality that Simmons could not resist. Simmons was more impressed by Ross's ability to fully manage her job and her home than by her attractiveness and personality on stage. He got a taste of a life he had never known before by spending time with her. Ross demonstrated stability, family life, and the concept of slowing down in contrast to the wild anarchy of the rock and roll industry. He frequently visited her house with her 3 girls and seen personally how she managed to juggle her roles as a mother and a celebrity. This stood in sharp contrast to Kiss's constant touring lifestyle. Being with Ross gave Simmons a fresh outlook. He started to consider starting a family, getting married, and what life may be like away from the spotlight. Their relationship was glitzy, well-known, and had a significant impact on Simmons personally. However, it wasn't meant to last, like many public romances. Naturally, the romance ended by the middle of the 1980s. Ross appreciated a rhythm that was grounded and family-oriented, which was not in line with Simmons' rock star lifestyle of frequent parties and tours. Simmons' personal life would also undergo a transformation at that time due to his developing connection with Shannon Tweed. In hindsight, he was profoundly impacted by both ladies. In her memoir, Cher looks back on their time together with no resentment. She does not minimize their love or portray Simmons as the bad guy in their split. Rather, she recognizes the intricacy of their relationship and confesses that, despite its termination, it was one of the most significant times in her life. Her candor in the memoir gives Simmons a complex portrayal, bringing out his compassion, passion, and imperfections. The admiration Simmons still has for Cher and Ross is evident in the way he talks about them today. He attributes a different kind of relationship to Cher, who he credits as his first love. Additionally, he recognizes Ross as a lady who expanded his perspective and provided him with knowledge about a stable, family-oriented life that was very different from the hectic life of touring. Cher's latest biography gives readers a unique view into her heart in addition to her career. Her thoughts on Simmons serve as a reminder to readers that even short-lived relationships can have a significant impact on our identities and romantic styles. Simmons, Cher, and Ross's story combines the rock and pop genres in a way that serves as a reminder that even the most well-known superstars experience the same intricacies of love and sorrow as the general public. These relationships weren't merely public liaisons for Gene Simmons. They were life-changing experiences that influenced the man behind the makeup. They remind fans that beyond the fire-breathing, blood-spitting stage persona, Simmons is someone who sought connection, love, and meaning. And in Cher and Diana Ross, he found two extraordinary women who each, in their own way, helped shape his journey. As Cher's memoir continues to generate headlines, the renewed spotlight on her relationship with Simmons ensures that these stories will live on for a new generation of fans. And for those who have followed the lives of these icons for decades, it's a reminder of a fascinating era when three of the biggest names in entertainment were linked by love, choice, and destiny.